First on Saturday night in Gosford, the minor premiers, the Roosters, they take on Tiana's Cronulla Sharks. Then on Sunday afternoon, this is going to be something special in front of a sold-out Suncorp crowd. The Broncos, looking to avenge some semi-final defeats in the last 2 years, they meet the Newcastle Knights. So, Tiana, let's get stuck into this one on Saturday night at Polytech Stadium in Gosford. I think the Roosters are chasing 17 games consecutive in wins. That's just how well they've been playing at the moment. But the big news here is that you could get 2 rep stars back for this game.
Yeah, hopefully, if all goes well. Quincy Dodd and Anessa Biddle, we've really missed them this year. And I think it'll just give the team such a big confidence boost leading into a prelim, having those 2 back, who have been such an integral part of our team over the last 2 seasons. Quincy Dodd just provides that calm through the middle of the field. She's such a leader, and she's really developed her leadership over the last 12 months, I'd say, in particular, and you can feel her calm out there. She demands so much of the middles around her, and defensively she's solid for someone her size as well. And then you've got Anessa Biddle, who is an absolute powerhouse at the international level and in the NRLW. So they've still got a couple of boxes to tick to be able to get out there on Saturday night. But if all goes well, we'll hopefully see them in our lineup, and it'll be, like I said, a huge boost for us.
You guys have had, well, you've come off this great performance in North Queensland. I just want to know what you said to Ellie Johnston before that game, because me and Sammy were watching back here. And, you know, we know that's Ellie's got that performance in her, but it was like a fuse had been lit in that before that game.
Well, absolutely, and I think finals footy brings that out in people, and I think this woman next to me will be happy to hear that we said you've got a Jillaroos jersey up for grabs there. As Jess mentioned, you know, there's a couple of big names that are out, and we saw Ellie have such a phenomenal State of Origin series as well. She's really grown into her own, so I think Tony might have had a few words with her saying there's a green and gold jersey up for grabs, run like your life depends on it, and she absolutely did that. And look at the cheeky smile here as she makes a line break. She was absolutely chuffed with that effort, but I think we're still yet to see the best of Elle this year, and really glad that she's starting to find her game again this year at the right time.
Rugby sevens convert, Georgia Hannaway. I mean, if Quincy Dodd returns, that's a huge in for you, but she's been enormous, Sammy, hasn't she, Georgia?
She has. She's someone that we probably don't talk about enough, whether she's in the halves or she's filling in that 9 role. She's absolutely outstanding. I love the thought of Ellie Johnston being in there, breaking that down the middle of the field, Quincy Dodd being at 9 and Hannaway being somewhere creative in the halves. She's such a smart footballer from the outside looking in. How valuable has she been, T, for your team, particularly around her versatility?
Well, yeah, you speak about the versatility, and she's one of many players that have had to wear different numbers on their backs, and I think that's something that I've been so proud of to watch, is these girls really grasp those opportunities with both hands. They don't kick stones about not being selected in their preferred position, and someone like Georgia, she's worked so closely with our coaching staff to build that confidence. But it's her running game that she'll suit any position where she's in and around the ball. And I think her experience at Origin level, thank you Queensland staff for giving her that at 14, has really, I guess it's put another feather in her hat. So she jumped at the opportunity to play 9 or 14 for us. As long as she's out there on the field, she's stoked playing eyes up footy, and that's what she loves to do.
Well, the Roosters, they've gone through this season undefeated. It's very well documented, the powerful season that they've had. They have lost Jillaroo half, Taryn Aiken, so I guess that's a headache for you in this off-season to deal with, Jess. But our Harvey Norman player to watch for this game is her replacement halves player, Corbin Baxter. It's a pretty timely return to have Corbin back in the team. Her calm and her, I guess, direction is probably second to none.
Yeah, it'd be a massive loss to lose a Golden Boot winner of last year and the quality that Taryn would bring. But we saw in the first half of the season that both the pairing with her, with Corbin and Kelleher, that they were doing the job and getting the job done as well. So I expect that they'd be doing the same thing and prepping as normal. And you know, to have Corbs come back, who is that calm leader in the field, and then you've got Jocelyn, who's got a really good running game and has added some spark there. So I think they'll complement each other, and I don't anticipate it being any different to what we've seen in the past, to be honest.
I'd like to see Corbs be able to unlock Jess Surgis a little bit more. I feel like the Roosters look really dangerous, always on the left-hand side of the field where Isabel Kelly is, but when Taryn Aitken and Jess Surgis play alongside each other, they look unstoppable all over the park. So I think 100% to what you said, Jess, but as long as they can continue to get Jess Surgis involved in the game, that I feel like they'll look really strong.
Yeah. Amber Hall under a bit of an injury cloud, and over there in the corner, Tiana's not too unhappy about it. But Taina Navidi's meant to be lining up in the back row here, which is, of course, a signal that they've got a few injuries. Leonazio is suspended. So you did play them in round 11. You didn't have a couple of those stars we mentioned on deck. What lessons did you learn, Tiana? And I guess the big question is, how do you stop this side?
Well, look, just a quick touch on Tiana Navidi playing in the back row. We've seen John Strange move players around all throughout his coaching career, me being one of them. I know that, you know, whoever he puts in a position that everyone asks questions about, they're going to perform and do it well, because he matches people based on their strengths and what they offer. And Tiana Navidi has a really solid running game and defensive game. But for us, it was probably a game that we'll be very happy to forget, but in saying that, lots of lessons to come out of it. And we had obviously a late scratching with Georgia Ravix out on that right wing, and we knew that that was going to be an area that they targeted, and that's what they did in that match a couple of weeks ago. But for us, you've got to be in it for 70 minutes, and you've got to play a high quality game and keep the ball in play and complete your sets. Footy is a simple game, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. And against a team like the Roosters, you've got to be on your best, and you've got to do it for a full 70 minutes. So that'll be the plan this week.
Yeah. And I'm fired up, and I feel like Tiana's going to have that message ready to hammer home in Gosford in the pre-game. It's going to be
also
enormous.
called Amber Hall a pussycat. But anyway.
All right, we're going to take